Without okay, and now I want to turn things over to Rabbi Noam Samet, who is visiting here from Israel with a team from Yeshivat Siach. I'll just say that Yeshivat Siach, dedicated to, among other things, spreading the teachings of Rav Shigar, has become a really important source of Torah for me over the past 5 or 10 years, as I've become introduced to the teaching of Rav Shigar, an incredibly innovative, interesting, and important thinker, who I'd say his impact in America, at least, is really just beginning, and the work of the yeshiva is really in taking that task and spreading it. I think there's a lot of wisdom there. So I will hand things over now, and thank you all for joining.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here today. And first, I will apologize for my very Israeli English. I hope it will be fine. And I will say that this is a very complicated time, either here and in Israel. And maybe we'll start with the words of Rabbi Nachman Breslev on your page. Rabbi Nachman says, he starts with pasuk from Tehillim, Batzar hirchavta li. Nachman says that there, even in time of distress, time of when we suffer, when we are in sorrow, there is a place that God can enlarge us in this time. In Hebrew, there is a connection between the word tzara and the word tsar. The tzara, the time of distress, is a narrow time. It's a time when we feel that we are in a narrow place. And in this place of narrowing, of distress, this is a place where Rabbi Nachman says that God enlarges us. We know the pasuk from the Hallel, Mina meitzar karati ya, anani b'merchav ya. But Rabbi Nachman takes us not just to the salvation, to the feelings that God answer our pray from the tzara, from the distress, but he says that afilu behatzara atzma Hashem yitbarach marchiv lanu. There is something in this time of distress, in this time of suffering, of being in such a sorrow, that in this time God enlarges us. God is opening something new that can come through this time of distress. And maybe this is a reason for that we are here now. We came from Israel, I with some colleagues from my team, and this is very confusing for us. My son is now in Gaza. He's in the army with his friends, and he is in Gaza. I believe that some of you have relatives or friends in Israel also, and the times here and in Israel are very, the time now is very hard and very complicated, and we felt that maybe something new can come out from this distress, from this complicated time, and it brought us here. And we want, I would like to share some thoughts about Parshat HaShavua that maybe we'll explain it a little more. In Parashat HaShavua, we heard about Yosef that tried to fulfill his dreams. Yosef, we have 6 dreams. If you see in the page, we have 6 dreams in the story of Yosef. The two dreams of Yosef, later the dreams of Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim, and the 2 last dreams were the dreams of Paro. And I think that if we look close at these dreams, we will find a surprising connection between the dreams of Yosef, the dreams of Paro, and the dreams of Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim. Yosef is dreaming about his first dream was about chitim alumot in the field, and the dream of Paro is also about chitim in the field. And maybe there is a deep connection between these dreams. I want to think that when Yosef was in prison, when he was thrown to jail in Egypt, I believe that he forgot his dreams. I can't imagine Yosef holding his dreams when he was deep in the lowest level of the prison in Egypt. And I think that maybe Yosef stopped believing in his dreams. And maybe the story takes us to the Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim, to the dreams of Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim, because Yosef was he was must to hear the language of dreams in order to come back to his dreams. Suddenly in prison, he hears Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim, and he hears again this language of dreams. And he hears the dreams of Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim, and this is a first step out of his prison. He tells Sarah Mashkim, please remember me when you go out of jail, and remind Paro that there is a young Israeli boy kidnapped in Egypt. And later, when he comes out of prison, he hears the dreams of Paro, and again he maybe understands that his dreams would come true through the dreams of Paro. And maybe what Yosef had to understand, had to learn in his journey, that if you want your dreams to come true, you must learn to listen to others' dreams. You must learn to listen to the dreams of Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim, and even to listen to the dreams of Paro, if you want your dreams to come true. And maybe as the first step of our journey here, this is something that now we try to learn. If we want our dreams to come true, we must listen to others' dreams. What brought me now to the United States is my will to listen to others' dreams, to listen to the dreams of the jury of the US. I think that I know the dreams of the Israeli jury, but I feel very strongly that this is time for us as Jews to listen to others' dreams, as Israeli Jews to listen to other Jews' dreams. And maybe this will help us to listen to our neighbors, to the Arabs' dreams. And when in our Parsha, Yosef says to his brothers, "Atem chashavtem alai lera'ah, Elohim chashava letova." Your thoughts were thoughts of evil, but God's, from his perspective, he knew that it will take us to a good place. And maybe in order to see this situation also, our very complicated situation from God's perspective, from his point of view, we must learn to see the situation from others' perspectives. Share dreams, share thoughts, think of our situation from various perspectives. And in Israel, we feel now very strongly that we need a new story. We need a new dreams. We need new dreams. We need to find new ways to think about Israel, about the Israeli community. And the first step that we should take is to listen to our brothers' dreams, to meet our brothers here in the USA, and to listen to each other's dreams, and to create together the new dream or the new story of the Jewish people. And that's what brought us here. We don't have time now to share dreams, I believe, but for the last few days we are meeting a lot of people here. We meet in New York. We met some communities and some rabbis and educators, and we try to share dreams in order we can learn from Yosef that when you suffer and when Yosef come out of his sorrow, he found the way to meet back his brothers, again, and to connect with his brothers. And maybe for us also, it is an opportunity to reconnect brothers, to share our dreams and to create the Jewish story together. So this is the first step of Parashat HaShavua. If anyone, of course, want to ask or to share something, feel free to open your microphones and speak. But I want to go one step ahead and to go to a very special midrash on our parasha. In Parashat Vayigash, we meet Yehuda and Yosef when Yehuda is going to speak, when Yosef wanted to take Binyamin as a slave and send the brothers back to their home, and Yehuda chose to confront Yosef. Vayigash elav Yehuda. And then Yehuda tells Yosef the whole story from the beginning. Vayigash elav Yehuda, Vayomer bi Adoni, yedaber na avdecha davar beoznei Adoni. And Yehuda repeats all the story from the beginning. We came to Egypt, and you thought that we are meraglim, we are spies, and you sent us back to Eretz Canaan, to our home, and you told us to bring our brother with us. And all the story, he tells Yosef all the story again. And the Midrash deals with a pasuk from Sefer Mishlei, Mayim amukim etza belev ish, ve'ish tvuna yidlena. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. And the Midrash says, Vayigash elav Yehuda, כתיב מים עמוקים עצה בלב איש, לבאר עמוקה מלאה צונן, והיו ממאה צוננים ויפים, ולא הייתה בריאה יכולה לשתות ממנה. There is a deep well that its water is very cold and fresh, but no one can drink from this well, until בא אחד וקשר חבל בחבל, ונימה בנימה, משיכה במשיכה, ודלה הימנה ושתה, התחילו הכל דולין הימנה ושותים. There's one person, a man of understanding, the wise person that came and create a rope with this rope you can take out the water of the well and drink. כך לא זז יהודה, משיב ליוסף דבר על דבר עד שעמד על ליבו. Yehuda is this wise person that can bring the rope and takes the water out of this deep well. Every person has a deep well in his heart, says the Midrash. But in order to take this water out of this deep and cold and fresh well, you must have the rope. And Yehuda, in his words, in his long story, when he repeats all the story from the beginning, he creates this rope. He creates this option to take out the water, the deep water from our heart. And Yehuda succeeded to take this water from the heart of Yosef. Yosef, his heart is closed. He can't meet his brothers. He can't reconnect with his brothers. And Yehuda, with his words, with his wisdom, with his attitude to Yosef, can get out the water, this deep water from Yosef's heart. He can open Yosef's heart and help Yosef to take this fresh and cold water out of his heart. And I believe that for us also, we must find this rope. We must find together this way to take out this deep and fresh water and to create this conversation. And as we see from Yehuda's story, this is a long conversation. We must go back to the beginning of the story and try to tell all the story from the beginning, to tell a new story from the beginning, in order to get deep to to the deep well in the heart of the people. In the words of Sfat Emet, the Rebbe of Gur, in the end of the page, במדרש, מים עמוקים עצה בלב איש, כבר פירשנו שהוא בכל איש ישראל, שעל ידי היגיעה מוצא האדם בליבו עצות ודרכים לעבודת הבורא יתברך. The Sfat Emet says that any one of us has this מים עמוקים, this deep water in his heart. And any one of us has to find the way to take this water out, to find this way of Avodat Hashem, this way of praying, this way of learning, that will take this deep and sweet water out of our hearts. And I really believe that this conversation is a good point to start this effort, to take this deep water out of our hearts, and to take and we have the ability to help each other to find this fresh and cold water deep in our hearts. So some thoughts of Parashat HaShavua from Israel here in Washington, D.C. If someone wants to...
Can I ask a question? Yeah, just... Hello, I'm asking a question from the shul. This process of finding this wisdom inside ourselves in the deep water, like how, if you were teaching this in the Beit Midrash and Yeshiva, would you, what is the maaseh practically? What does it look like? How does one do this if we want to try?
Maybe the first step of finding this deep water is really connected to our ability to have the conversation between us. It's not just a project for one to do with himself. It depends on your ability to create very deep connections with your friends. And in our yeshiva, we're making a great effort to create this this climate, this option that you will have the ability to have a very deep and honest conversation with your friend. And maybe if you have this ability to connect, to talk, to think together, to have the very warm and welcoming climate, you can also find it in yourself. But it depends on your connections with your friends. Start with a conversation between friends in the Bet Midrash, and then you can also find it deep in yourself. Maybe that's Eli, would you want to add something? Rabbi Eli Larea is here with me from the yeshiva. So.
Hi, everyone. You'll notice that my accent is a little bit more American because I grew up here in New York. I'll just add to what Rav Noam was saying before. I'll add two pieces from my experience, both in learning a little bit and teaching in the yeshiva. One of the things that we try to do is to think very critically about the ways in which we can create context for developing both group dynamics and interpersonal dynamics amongst the students. So I'll just give one or two examples. We my first day in Yeshivat Siach, I was learning with Rav Noam, and Rav Noam was my Gemara teacher. And Rav Noam opened up and he said, "This year I'm going to try something new." What am I going to do? Every Monday and Thursday, not to make you too crazy, every Monday and Thursday, instead of everybody going to their space in the Beit Midrash and their specific table and their specific makom, we're going to rearrange the tables in the Beit Midrash, and we're going to make one big table together. And everybody's going to sit around that table, and we're going to learn together as a group. Now, we can still learn in individual chavrutot, but we're going to change the space of the Beit Midrash that can offer an opportunity for us to think about our group dynamic from a new perspective, from a new physical perspective, which can hopefully maybe also translate into the experience of what the learning can look like as a group. And it's sort of some examples like that can really facilitate this dynamic in a sense in which we are here as a group of people together trying to build a conversation which can continually build trust between students, between friends, and between the yeshiva members, in order to, what I think Rav Noam is trying to get at, in order to, in a sense, create a really deep feeling of trust in the depth of meaning that we can find in the other, the depth of meaning that we can find within ourselves. And one thing I'll add, which Rav Noam talks a lot about as well, which is the depth of meaning that we can find within the texts in front of us and the Torah that we're learning, whether it's some of these psukim and stories from Breshit, or the different midrashim that Rav Noam was talking about, or the Gemara and some of the study that we do in the yeshiva, trying to really cultivate a sense in which there's a deep faith and trust in the ability to find meaning in the other, and from that feeling and from that experience to be able to create honest and meaningful discourse and conversation in the Beit Midrash, and hopefully also more broadly. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you all. In January, our Parsha class will be on Mondays, okay? So thank you all for joining. Hopefully we'll join again to see you in that context on Mondays and other contexts before then too. All right, have a wonderful week, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.